Here is how I'll prepare for a Physics Olympiad. By the end of this video, I'm going to show you a step-by-step guide on how to tackle the hardest problems out there. But before we even start problem solving, it is crucial that we're really familiar with the following two elements. So step number one, what is the problem solving format? Is it multiple choice if you're taking the American F=MA exam? Is it mostly extended response questions if you're taking the British Physics Olympiad? So the first step is fairly simple. Browse for the competition of your choice and note down the exam format and the time allowed for each paper. The next step is crucial, and that is of course the syllabus. I'm going to use the International Physics Olympiad as an example. Compare it to the syllabus of your course and note down any differences. There will be things that you will have to learn independently. For example, the mechanics section includes some tricky rotational dynamics that is rarely covered in high school, such as the parallel axis theorem or integration methods to find the moment of inertia. Browsing through, we can also see that the integral form of Maxwell's equations is also included. Use the syllabus of your Olympiad as a learning checklist. How do we actually go about learning the theory? Well, we have a few choices. For me, nothing beats a good book. This particular one has a strong mg vector pointing downwards. It's over 1,000 pages, and this here is Jung and Friedman's University Physics. I really recommend that. You can also use Halliday-Resnick's Fundamentals of Physics, for instance. I also really recommend David Morin's Classical Mechanics books, as it contains some really unique problems and some solutions. Now, reading the books may not be very useful unless you have mastered this next step that I'm about to tell you. And that is, of course, mathematics. Physics Olympiads tend to be calculus based. What I often find is that the actual integrals and derivatives tend not to be overly complicated, however they can be time consuming. Here are some mathsy highlights that I've noticed to often come up in physics problems. Amongst them are the quotient, the product rule, and integration by parts. They tend to come up a lot in physics systems. There are some differential equations as well that reappear in many different parts of physics. Be confident in solving differential equations with separation of variable or with an integration factor. For instance, this drag differential equation I've seen appear in several different contexts in different physics competitions, and solving this just once will make you so much more confident if this type of equation was to appear again. Another technique that appears again and again is finding the constants of integration via initial conditions. This will also be incredibly important for your first and second year university degrees if you choose to study physics, mathematics, or engineering. Occasionally on a Physics Olympiad, you will have to integrate or differentiate an expression and it will just seem impossible. Chances are there will be a trick. For instance, the British Physics Olympiad, you are given the binomial expansion, and if you're able to use an approximation in your problem, you might be able to turn your really complicated problem into a relatively simple one to differentiate or integrate. Or you may come across a monster of an integral, and if that's the case, just scan your paper just once again. They may have given you the actual solution of that integral. How nice is that? One more technique that keeps resurfacing in Physics Olympiads is dimensional analysis. The good thing is that this is incredibly powerful, and once you have mastered this, you'll be able to tackle any problem that they throw at you. And if you have subscribed for a while, you've probably seen me solve loads of tricky dimensional analysis problems. A crucial aspect is to work on problems that you've never seen before. And a free and easy way to do just this is the sponsor of today's video, Brilliant. It is the best way to learn science and maths interactively. I am always impressed how they use unique stories, problems, and stunning visuals to teach really advanced mathematics and physics. By signing up, you can choose from over 100 courses in maths, science, and computer science. These courses will be incredibly relevant to your preparation. For instance, one of my favorite courses is the Advanced Physics Classical Mechanics. There is a lesson on there on the rocket equation, which is a concept that that I've seen numerous times being tested in physics competitions and even an MIT final exam. Another great thing is that if you're ever stuck on a problem, there's always a hint at hand to help you. And you can choose a course at any level. You absolutely need to check it out for free for 30 days. And the first 200 people that sign up can get 20% off their annual subscription using the link brilliant.org/zphysics. Next tip, attend any preparation events for the Olympiad that you're taking. These will vary from country to country, however, chances are there will be some webinars, summer schools, or online free materials to help you. For instance, the organizers of the British Physics Olympiad have essentially published a free book called Upgrade Your Physics that I will link in the description. And now we're on to the main business of preparation. Yes, problem solving. It's really important to do this right. Enjoy the feeling of not being able to solve a problem instantly and working for it. Spend a considerable amount of time looking at the problem. Try it with various different angles and only then look at the mark scheme. Once you look at the mark scheme, use it as a learning tool. If the examiners have used a mathematical technique that you've not seen before, for instance, have they used separation of variables and you've just not learned that yet at school? Perfect, this is an excellent opportunity to learn it. Have they used energy conservation and the first principle of thermodynamics to introduce another equation so that they can actually solve for the two variables? Excellent, this will be yet another technique in your arsenal of useful physics. Remember that on my channel I have a detailed playlist solving lots of Olympiad problems from around the world that you may find useful. Learn how to trim the question for the required part that you're trying to solve. You'll notice that in Physics Olympiads, very often you would get a page, sometimes even 2 or more pages of pure information giving you the context of the problem. In your preparation and problem solving, pay particular attention to angular momentum and rotational physics problems. Why is that? Simple. Angular momentum can be defined with respect to any point, and this can make its magnitude and direction really non-intuitive. Master this topic by solving lots of different problems and looking at online resources. Don't be really competitive with others. Not only will this be quite bad for your mental health, but also it may actually prevent you from learning more. Remember, science is an international collaboration, and there is a reason why scientists work together in teams to tackle the hardest problems in the world that nobody knows the solution of. So if you spot that somebody in your class can solve a tricky problem that you couldn't solve initially, just go ahead and ask them. Perhaps they've learned a trick that they will be really excited to share with you. Or they may be reading a crucial book that you need to know about. Whatever it is, if you have a good study group, if you're ever stuck on a problem, you will have people to discuss the problem with, and when they are stuck, you will be able to help them, and this is fantastic. Really importantly, take care of your mental health. If you're aiming for the International Physics Olympiad, this is a tremendous challenge that you will spend a huge amount of time and solving demanding problems to prepare for it. So make your mental health a priority. Remember, you can only win by signing up for Physics Olympiads, and they're the epitome of just doing physics for the pure fun of it. Even if you don't win a gold medal, I guarantee you that you will learn so much that your first year of university will feel so much easier having spent that preparation. You also really shouldn't sacrifice time spent with your family and friends, particularly outdoors. This is really good for you. Do, however, sacrifice time that you spend consuming content that may not be beneficial to you. For instance, sometimes I find myself just scrolling through random videos, and next thing you know, a whole hour has passed and you've gained nothing from it. So far what I've given you is just advice, just words. It is crucial that we put that into practice. Remember that differential equation that I said comes up quite often in Physics Olympiads? Well, this is precisely why you should click right over here. Enjoy.